Hey everyone, and welcome back to Talk Tickers, where we like to, spice things up a little bit
Yeah, that's right.
by taking these deep dives into the latest earnings calls. And today we're diving into the world of McCormick.
Flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just had their Q4 2024 earnings call on January 23rd, 2025.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
They crushed it.
they crushed expectations, especially in their consumer segment.
Yeah, their consumer segment's doing really well.
So let's break it down.
Sure.
First, let's give you a little overview of what happened.
The big picture.
The big picture.
Exactly.
So McCormick saw a 2% increase in organic sales for Q4.
Now, 2% might not sound like a lot,
Yeah,
but considering the environment they're in right now,
I think it's pretty impressive.
it is.
And what fueled this growth was a 2% increase in volume and product mix. So that means people are buying more McCormick products and they're buying more of their higher priced items.
Yeah, which is a good sign,
Right.
A really good sign.
And this is actually their fourth quarter in a row with these volume gains.
Yeah, so it's not just a one-off thing.
Oh,
This is a trend.
it's a trend.
So for the full fiscal year 2024, McCormick saw positive volume growth.
That's pretty remarkable.
It is, the economy has been, a little bit up and down.
Right.
So to see them actually growing their volume is a pretty big deal. And especially in their consumer segment, they reached 1% growth for the whole year in that segment.
Wow.
So what's their secret?
Yeah. What are they doing right?
Well, they've been really focused on their core categories, those spices and seasonings.
Yeah, the classics.
The classics, right? The red spice jars.
Everyone knows them.
Exactly. They've also been doing some really savvy brand marketing. They're getting their name out there. They're introducing innovative new products, keeping things fresh, and they're making sure that their products are available everywhere consumers shop.
So smart distribution strategy.
Smart distribution. Yeah.
All right, so let's zoom in on the real star of the show.
Yeah.
Their consumer segment.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
So globally, they saw 4% growth in volume and product mix.
Combined.
Yeah. But let's talk about the Americas.
Oh, yeah.
Over 5% growth in this area.
Leading the charts.
Leading the charge.
Yeah.
So what's behind this success?
Well, instead of, just raising prices to deal with inflation,
Right.
they've been focusing on their brand marketing, making sure that, when you think of spices, you think of McCormick.
Yeah.
They've also expanded their distribution network, so they're in more stores, more shelves, and they've been really careful about managing price gaps, making sure that their products offer a good value.
Not just the cheapest, but they're also not the most expensive.
Exactly.
They're finding that sweet spot.
Right. And it's working because they actually outsold both their branded food peers and private label in the fourth quarter across all categories in the Americas.
Wow. So they're beating out the big brands and the cheaper brands.
Yeah. So their strategy is definitely paying off.
Okay, so we talked about the big picture. Let's get into some specifics.
Right.
So spices and seasonings,
Mm-hmm.
those iconic little red and white McCormick bottles you see in every grocery store,
Yeah.
they saw a really fantastic increase in units sold, overall volume and dollar value.
Yeah. They're killing it in the spice aisle.
They are. And hold on to your hats because they even outsold both their branded and private label competitors in the U.S. market.
That's impressive.
Talk about dominating the Spence aisle.
They are the Spice Kings.
They are. And their holiday performance was phenomenal. They saw really high demand for both their core holiday items and some of their newer innovative products.
Yeah. Those limited time offer finishing sugars were a big hit.
Oh, yeah. I saw those.
Yeah. They were really popular, and that helped them gain even more market share.
So, I'm really intrigued by the success of their recipe mixes. I feel like everybody's looking for something quick and easy these days.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And McCormick saw a real strengthening of consumption trends in both the Americas and EMEA, which is Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
For their recipe mixes and their Cholula recipe mixes, those are really attracting a new generation of cooks.
Yeah, millennials and younger families are loving those.
They're looking for bold flavors,
Exactly.
and McCormick is giving it to them.
Yeah.
Now, remember earlier this year when McCormick was having a little bit of trouble with their mustard sales?
Right.
Well, after 3 quarters of really focusing on this category, their mustard is back on track.
Yeah, they put in the work and it paid off.
They did. They saw a nice increase in units sold, a volume and dollar share in the Americas. And Poland is also showing some strong growth.
Yeah, Poland loves their mustard.
Yeah, they do. They do. And speaking of comebacks, Let's not forget about their hot sauce business.
Oh, yeah.
This segment continues to benefit from strong consumer loyalty and brand recognition. Q4 brought positive unit volume and dollar growth.
They're on fire.
They've also made significant improvements in their dollar and unit share trends, thanks to distribution gains, increased brand marketing, and of course, those innovative new products.
Yeah, they're not afraid to experiment with new flavors.
They're not, and people are loving it, all right?
Exactly.
Let's switch gears for a second and talk about their flavor solutions segment.
All right.
Now, this is where McCormick partners with other food companies, restaurants, food service businesses, to really bring their flavor expertise to a wider range of products.
Well, kind of like their B2B side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, this segment faced a few challenges in Q4 with flat volumes globally.
Yeah, things were a little bit softer than expected.
Yeah, they saw some softness in their customer volumes, particularly in the Americas and EMEA. And it seems like some of their clients are experiencing a little bit of weakness in their own businesses. And there's some geopolitical factors at play as well.
Yeah. It's a tough environment out there.
It is. But there are still some bright spots to celebrate.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Their high-margin flavor category remains strong. They actually outperform the industry in many end categories. And this is particularly true with their high-growth innovator customers. Those companies that are creating all the exciting new products in categories like snack bars, granola crackers, beverages, you name it.
They're adding their flavor magic to all sorts of things.
They are. And their branded food service business in the Americas, which is where you see their products in restaurants and other food service locations, actually saw volume growth and expanded distribution.
They're even winning in the tabletop hot sauce unit share.
You know, those little bottles of hot sauce you see at your favorite diner.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're achieving this through innovation, getting their products into more restaurants, and using smart packaging and promotions to catch the customer's eye.
They're making sure that their hot sauce is the one you reach for.
So while Flavor Solutions did face a few bumps on the road, they're definitely finding their footing in some key areas.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a look at what McCormick has planned for 2025. What do they see on the horizon?
All right, gazing into the crystal ball.
Exactly. So they're projecting that their organic net sales will grow somewhere between 1% and 3%.
Which is a healthy range.
It is. And what's interesting here is that they're really emphasizing volume-driven growth. So they're focused on selling more products rather than relying on price increases to boost their revenue.
Yeah, they want to grow the pie, not just take a bigger slice.
I like that. And they're also expecting their gross margin to expand by 50 to 100 basis points.
Now, for those who don't know, a basis point is just a fancy way of saying 0.01%.
So their profitability will improve by about 0.5% to a full percent.
Exactly.
And they're attributing this to a combination of the product mix they're selling and cost savings they're achieving through their CCI program.
Yeah, CCI stands for Comprehensive Continuous Improvement. It's basically their way of constantly finding ways to be more efficient and save money.
Streamlining those operations.
Exactly.
So they're investing heavily in their brands with a high single-digit increase planned for their marketing budget.
They know the value of a strong brand.
They do, but they're not oblivious to the challenges out there. They're anticipating some continued headwinds, particularly in China, where they're forecasting a slow and gradual recovery in consumer spending.
Yeah. China's a big market for them, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Definitely. Now let's talk numbers. I know you all love the financial nitty-gritty, so let's crunch some.
All right, let's do it.
They're projecting that their adjusted operating income will increase between 4% and 6% when measured in a constant currency. So we're factoring out any fluctuations in exchange rates.
Makes sense.
However, McCormick de Mexico, their largest joint venture, is expected to see a decline in income in the mid-teens range.
Yeah, that's mostly due to the U.S. dollar gaining strength against the Mexican peso.
Right. And finally, let's talk earnings per share, or EPS.
The big one.
The big one. So McCormick is projecting their adjusted earnings per share to fall somewhere between 3.03 and 3.08 based on current dollar values. This takes into account those currency headwinds we talked about and a higher tax rate they're anticipating. But here's the interesting part. If you look at their adjusted EPS on a constant currency basis, meaning we strip away the impact of those fluctuating exchange rates, they're actually expecting growth between 5% and 7%.
So the underlying business is still strong.
Very strong. So when we step back and look at the big picture, McCormick delivered a really strong performance in Q4. And for the full fiscal year 2024, their strategic focus on those core categories, The innovative products' smart pricing, especially in their booming consumer segment, seems to be the recipe for their success.
They're doing a lot of things right.
They are.
Yeah.
But here's the million-dollar question.
All right, hit me with it.
Is this success a fleeting flavor of the month or a sign of sustainable long-term growth?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What do you think? Are they just riding a temporary wave, or are they building a solid foundation for the future?
We'll have to wait and see.
Exactly. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors with more insights and an outrageous trade idea that might just spice up your portfolio.
Can't wait.
Welcome back to Talk Tickers, where we're continuing our exploration of McCormick's Q4 2024 earnings call.
Yes, sifting through all those flavor trends.
All those flavors. And it's clear that McCormick is not just a spice company.
Oh, yeah.
They're really shaping those consumer trends.
Yeah.
And what really stands out to me is how they're navigating this kind of dynamic environment.
Yeah.
With their focus on core categories, those innovative products.
Yeah.
And their pricing strategies, especially in that consumer segment. It seems like that's the secret to their success.
Yeah. Their focus on brand marketing, making sure that people are aware of their brand, expanding their distribution network so they're getting into more stores, and then also managing those price gaps really well so that, they're offering a good value.
Yeah.
It's all working for them.
It is, and it's like they've really cracked the code on how to connect with today's consumer.
Yeah.
Remember those Cholula recipe mixes we were talking about?
Right.
That's a prime example of McCormick's kind of forward-thinking approach.
Mm.
They're attracting new consumers.
Yeah.
Especially those millennials, younger families who are really all about those bold and authentic flavors.
Right.
They're not just catering to existing tastes, they're anticipating and creating the next generation of flavor preferences.
Yeah, I think that's key. They're not just following trends, they're setting them.
Exactly. And let's not forget their holiday performance.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a masterclass in understanding what consumers want.
Right.
And delivering on those expectations.
Exactly.
They really turned up the heat during a crucial time of year.
Yeah.
And drove some serious sales.
Yeah, holiday sales are huge for them.
But it's not all about the consumer segment, right? Even with some challenges in flavor solutions, they're finding pockets of growth and opportunity, particularly with their innovative clientele and that branded food service business.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, hey, a few bumps in the road aren't going to stop us from reaching our destination.
Yeah, they're not letting those short-term hurdles derail their long-term vision.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're taking a holistic approach, recognizing that both their consumer segment and flavor solutions are vital ingredients in their recipe for growth.
Yeah, it's all part of the bigger picture.
Okay, so we've savored the highlights. Now it's time to ask the million-dollar question.
All right, lay it on me.
Is this success a fleeting flavor of the month or a sign of sustainable long-term growth?
Ooh, that's the question, isn't it?
It is. Are they just riding a temporary wave?
Right.
Or are they building a solid foundation for the future?
Yeah, and while their recent performance has been really impressive, it's important to remember that there are always challenges on the horizon. The economic environment,
Right.
It can change quickly.
Very quickly.
And competition in the food industry is fierce.
It is. And let's not forget those headwinds they mentioned in China.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're anticipating a slow recovery in consumer spending. That's a big market for them.
It is.
So those challenges could definitely spice things up a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So while McCormick's future looks promising, it's not without its hurdles.
Right. But here's the thing that I find so compelling about this company.
Okay.
They've consistently shown an ability to adapt, to innovate, and to execute their strategy effectively.
They're not just sitting still.
And their commitment to investing in those key growth areas like brand marketing and new product innovation suggests that they're playing the long game.
They are.
Yeah, they're not just here for a quick taste of success.
Right.
They're building a legacy of flavor.
I like that. And it'll be fascinating to watch how they navigate these upcoming challenges.
Yeah.
And continue to evolve their strategy.
Exactly.
To maintain their position as a leader in the flavor industry.
Absolutely. Now, how about we shift gears to the fun part of our show?
Right.
Our This Is Not Financial Advice segment.
Let's do it.
This is where we kind of let our imaginations run wild and cook up an outrageous yet plausible trade idea.
Okay, I've got my chef's hat on.
All right.
I'm ready to whip something up.
Let's do it.
So we've seen how McCormick's absolutely crushing it with those innovative recipe mixes.
Right.
And their hot sauce. And they've shown a real knack for attracting younger consumers
Yeah.
with those bold, authentic flavors.
Right.
What if McCormick partnered with a major plant-based protein company
Okay.
to create co-branded recipe mixes specifically designed for vegan and vegetarian consumers?
I like where you're going with this.
Right.
Combining their flavor expertise with the booming popularity of plant-based eating.
Exactly.
That's a smart move.
Tapping into that rapidly growing market segment.
Yeah.
That's hungry for those delicious and convenient meal solutions.
Right.
Imagine a line of McCormick recipe mixes featuring vegan chili,
Ooh.
flavorful tofu scrambles,
Yeah.
even plant-based takes on classic comfort food like mac and cheese or shepherd's pie.
Mm.
They could leverage their existing distribution network to reach a massive audience,
Right.
potentially converting even more meat eaters to delicious plant-based meals.
I mean, who can resist a flavorful, easy-to-make meal,
Right.
regardless of their dietary preferences?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a bold move,
Mm-hmm.
but it aligns perfectly with McCormick's commitment to sustainability
Yeah.
and responsible sourcing.
Yeah, they're not just about flavor, they're about creating a better future for food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's be honest,
Yeah.
a partnership like this could be a game changer for both companies,
Oh, for sure.
attracting new customers, boosting their bottom lines.
Yeah.
It's a long shot for sure. I mean, we're talking hypotheticals here,
Right.
but stranger things have happened in the food industry.
They have, you never know.
Right. It
Yeah.
can happen.
So it's definitely a trade idea worth pondering.
Yeah. It's got all the right ingredients.
Yeah.
You know, a hot market trend,
Yeah.
a company with a proven track record of innovation
Uh-huh.
and the potential to create something truly delicious and disruptive.
All right, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into McCormick's Q4 2024 earnings call.
Uh-huh.
We hope you enjoyed the insights, the analysis, and of course, our outlandish trade idea. Yeah, it's a fun one.
Remember, this is not financial advice.
Right.
So always do your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Please.
But we encourage you to stay curious, explore these topics further, and keep an eye on McCormick.
Yeah,
They're a company that's constantly innovating, pushing
right.
the boundaries of flavor.
exactly.
Who knows what delicious surprises they'll cook up next?
I'm excited to find out.
Welcome back to Talk Tickers.
We're ready to sprinkle on that final layer of flavor as we wrap up our deep dive into McCormick's Q4 2024 earnings call.
You know, it's been quite a journey
It has.
exploring this world of spices and sauces and flavor solutions.
Yeah,
This earnings call really had all the right ingredients.
you did.
You know, impressive growth, those strategic investments, and a dash of caution as they look ahead.
Yeah, a little bit of spice.
Right.
A little bit of everything.
Exactly. So McCormick's proving that they're more than just a spice rack staple.
Right?
They're a global flavor powerhouse.
A flavor powerhouse.
They're adapting to those evolving consumer trends. They're driving innovation across their portfolio, and they're making sure that their products are the ones that you reach for when you want to add a little zest to your life.
When you want to spice things up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From dominating those supermarket shelves to partnering with some of the most innovative food brands out there,
Right.
McCormick is showing the world that they have the right recipe for success,
Long-term success.
long-term success. But as we've discussed, you know, the market is like a constantly simmering pot
Yeah.
with new challenges and fierce competition bubbling up all the time.
You got to stay on top of your game.
You do.
Yeah.
So the big question remains, can McCormick keep the momentum going?
Right.
Can they maintain their reign as the undisputed flavor king?
The flavor king.
Well, only time will tell.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, this is a company worth watching.
Oh, yeah.
They're not afraid to experiment. They're not afraid to adapt. And they're not afraid to bring the heat to that global flavor market.
They're bringing the flavor.
They are. And with that, we'd like to leave you with this final takeaway from this earnings call.
Okay.
McCormick is demonstrating that flavor never goes out of style.
Never goes out of style.
They're a company with a rich history, a deep understanding of consumer trends, and a clear vision for the future.
They know what they're doing.
They do. So whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting to explore the market, keep an eye on McCormick, because the next chapter in their flavor story is bound to be delicious.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see what they come up with next.
And that wraps up this episode of Talk Tickers.
All right.
As always, this is not financial advice, so do your own research, talk to your financial advisor, and make informed decisions.
Absolutely.
And until next time, happy investing.
Happy investing.